Here now with more on what this bill means for business and taxpayers. Congressman Joe Barton of Texas, he's a ranking Republican on the House Energy Committee, and his fellow Texas congressman from across the aisle, Representative Gene Green. Boy, it's lucky, Representative Green, that you're on the right side of this with, you're green, right?
Well, some of my Democrats don't think I live up to my name near as much as they want me to.
Are you, do you think it's going to pass, Congressman?
I think it won't get on the floor today unless they have the votes to pass. This is not the bill I would have drafted. We did get some changes in the bill through the committee process. I do have some concerns about the agreements on the ag portion of it, but you're going to see that with any legislation, whether it was the 05 energy bill, whether it's the 03 prescription drug bill, so which were all controversial. But you know, I think if it gets to the floor today, they'll have the 218 votes.
Congressman Barton, a month ago, I think most people didn't even think this was going to happen. Were you blindsided that all of a sudden here we are, we might vote on it today?
Well, just look at my good friend Gene Green's body language. He's not comfortable with this bill, and he worked like a tiger to get allowances for refineries and transportation. He got 2%. They need 35%. The fact is, this bill won't work. It'll create, at best, a stagnant economy. It'll probably mean a recession, and it could mean a depression. It's a job killer bill. It is a bill that, you know, you talked about the agricultural sector. Whether you let the EPA or the USDA regulate offsets, you're still going to have an offset program that's rife for corruption. I do agree with Gene that I doubt that Pelosi will put the bill up unless she thinks that they have the votes. But as of yesterday, there were almost 30 hard no votes on the Democratic side and another 40 lean no undecideds. So they have a lot of work to do today if they really expect to pass this bill. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I'm going to be doing my darndest to make sure that they don't get the votes, because this is an absolute economic disaster waiting to happen for the American economy and the American people.
Congressman Green, well, so there are those that say this is going to create jobs in green energy.
Are you talking to me or Congressman Green?
I'll say Congressman Green. Yeah,
Well, and there is a lot of that discussion. I don't think we'll really know until we see the actual bill that goes through the Senate. Now, I do agree with Joe that I worked hard to get to help refining and chemical industry, because we're going to have those whether we have you know, this bill or not. But we did get about half the stationary allocations we wanted. Now, what he's talking about, and that refineries and anyone who produces gasoline in our country in 2014 will have to buy credits for the almost 30% of carbon that our driving will put into the atmosphere. So the refineries are the point of collection for that. So you and I know what will happen with that. You know, they're in the business to make money, so if they have to buy these credits, it's going to raise the price of gasoline. I don't think you'll see as what happens in Europe, but I do think you'll see an increase. We tried to moderate that. We couldn't get anything. Hopefully the Senate will look at that.
We're also here, gentlemen, with the CEO of UBS Americas, Robert Wolf. Do you worry? I mean, do you worry about what one of the congressmen is pointing out, the idea that it's a regressive tax, affects price of gasoline, electricity. Consumers will either have to save more or use less, spend less, production goes down, jobs go down, right? And that's the fear.
You know, I'm on the other side of this debate. I'm more with where the Democratic Party's going. I'm on the President's Economic Recovery Advisory Board, and at our last public session, it was mainly about energy, and it was led by John Doerr of Kleiner Perkins, who's a very sharp guy. And it seemed to me, with numerous economists as well as people from labor and industry around the table, I think that there was a lot of traction in the idea that this would lead to job creation. I'm also one that supports market-based carbon trading, so I'm for a cap-and-trade system. I think it will obviously come in hand in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, but I think more importantly it will lead to new development of new energy sources, whether solar, wind, or whatever it may be. And I think that will lead to, you know, more private investment, more jobs. So I can't tell you whether it's going to be 150 billion of spend and 1.7 million jobs like came out of the progress report yesterday, but I certainly, from the people I speak to, seem to be very positive that this will help, in an economic recovery over a long term. It's a much more of a longer term thing.
Congressman Barton, before we go, if it comes to the floor and Pelosi, for whatever reason, doesn't get it passed, is it dead? Is it dead and buried?
Well, I hope it's dead and buried. I just want to comment on what your business
yes, Mr. Wolf.
guest just said. In Spain, they have been pumping money hand over fist into the alternative green energy economy. They estimate that for every job they create, they lose 2 traditional jobs, number one. Number two, they also estimate the subsidy to create these so-called green jobs is somewhere between 800,000 and 1.2 million per job. So, we can do things on alternative energy and do things like that without devastating our conventional energy sources. At least he's honest enough to say he's for it because he believes in carbon trading. And if you have a cap-and-trade system, obviously somebody's got to create the exchange and do the trading, and the people that do that will make money. And it is the all-American way to make money. So I understand that. But don't try to kid me or the American people that this is a job creator. It's a job killer.
Okay.
Congressman,
there's 2 sides.
Yeah, that's true. We'll be watching for the magic 218. Congressman Barton, Congressman Green, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.